Hey you guys, so since we can't do experiments together in the classroom, what I'm going to do is share with you guys some refraction experiments and activities that you can do at home really easily with just a few common household items. So if we look at our index of refraction, we see some of the common items we can use include things like glass, oil, air, and water. So if we pull those things together, we can get some pretty good experiments looking at how light bends. The first one that we're going to start off with is a bit of Tupperware. So if you find just a Tupperware lid, plastic, glass, anything like that will work. And then you put a little drop of water on it, and we're going to get in real close here. Just get your finger, grab a little drop of water, and drop that onto your Tupperware. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab a piece of paper, and what you'll find is as light travels through both the plastic and the water, it bends and distorts the words on the page. Let's take a closer look. So looking right there at the water, you can see that it's bending and distorting the letters so they look bigger, and it's magnifying it. So that's one simple experiment out of the way. This next one is a little bit trickier. What we're going to do is we're going to combine several different things on our index of refraction. So looking at our index of refraction one more time, we can see that glass has a large index of refraction, oil has a large index, water has a pretty big index, and air is really close to 1. So what that means is that each of these different materials are going to bend light differently. And we'll see that while glass bends light, when you combine glass with something else, it makes a really big difference. So for this experiment, we will be using glass. You can use a cup, you can use a jar, anything that you have that is nice and full of glass. And we're going to pour some water in, not too high, because we're going to have some other things as well. Okay, so we have a little water layer. And then on top of the water layer, we're going to add a little bit of oil. So we have a nice little oil layer, and make sure to pour it in gently so you're not mixing your water and your oil. Okay, now you can see I have a nice water layer and I have a nice oil layer. On top of both of those layers is just air and glass. So I'm going to take a pen. You can use anything like this, a stick, a pen, a fork, whatever you'd like. And we're going to stick it into the jar. And I want you to think about this. Glass is involved in each of these. Looking back one more time at our table, between water, air, and oil, which one do you think will have the greatest effect on the pen? All right, so back together, let's check it out and see. So I'm going to take this pen and I'm going to stick it into the glass. And I'm going to zoom you in so you can get a really nice close view. All right, so we did a little bit of adjusting because I wanted you to be eye level with it. So let's take a look right here. What is distorting our pen the most? Right? If you looked, you'd see, okay, there's definitely some distortion. The air is pretty close to the pen without glass, but then as it hits the oil, it gets kicked off to the side and gets really wide. And then as it hits the water, it gets even thinner. As much as I'm able to show you it with this, it looks even cooler in person, especially as you move stuff around and see it from different angles. You can really see how that changes the way that the light is traveling through the oil and through the water, and how it affects the way that you see the pen. For our last refraction trick that we're going to go over today, you're going to need some paper, a pen, a plastic bottle, or glass cup, and some water. The first thing you're going to want to do is on your paper, grab a black pen and draw 2 arrows. You want to keep them as close to the same size as you can for the greatest effect with this trick. Get them colored all the way in. It's going to be a lot faster. and then set it up against some sort of background. You want it to be standing up, so I'm going to use my oil here. Okay, so now you're going to place your plastic bottle or your cup, glass cup, in front of the arrows. Now here's where it gets really tricky. We want the correct distance between the arrows and the bottle and from your view. As you can see, both the arrows point in the same direction. But once I pour some water in, the bottom arrow turns around. The arrow itself didn't turn around, it's still exactly the same, but the way that our eyes view it has changed because light bends as it goes through the water. So there's a few experiments that you can play with and try at home to just get a little bit more experience with refraction. And you might even convince someone in your family that you're a magician. Hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys sometime.